going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 99 of our Watford career mode and our second to last episode. Today we're going to be going through the end of season stuff we normally go through. We'll be doing some other things, some little kind of end of series things, and the next episode will be the 5 years in the future, and that will be the final Watford episode of our career mode. So I hope you folks have enjoyed this. I've enjoyed making it, and it's been one of my favorite career modes, really. I've been looking to do Watford for a year or two now, and I saw this as the best opportunity. Nobody really does Watford careers on FIFA. It had been 2 or 3 years since someone had done one all the way through on all of YouTube, which was very strange to me. They've always been kind of an interesting team. There are some proper good players on this team. Which, looking at our final result here, you can see now. Hernandez, a 90 overall on here. Decore, 87 now. Ismail Yassar, 3 players who come with the team, of course. De La Feu, also a Watford player. Dini, and that's all we have left. But 5 players, and 5 players still being around in the squad it's pretty decent for, you know, going from kind of bottom half of the table to Champions League winners. It means there's a good core. In real life, I think there are some good players there. I think they're missing some things, center back, and, you know, like some better options in midfield, perhaps. But there are some good building pieces at Watford, and we use those, and we're still using them, and obviously they've turned into an incredible team. Now let's take a look at how everybody did this year. We'll go through the squad hub, and then we'll talk about my favorite players, I think, so far, or not so far, in this league here. Let's take a look at some prices there. This guy right here, 76 overall, 19. Declan Mason, worth 10 million overall. Rui worth 37 million. Reguilon 37. Hakimi 33. The way the worth works in this game, I'm not so sure. It's kind of like Football Manager. Worth in general is kind of odd, or they have a thing for it. Badiashile worth 31 million. Still only 22, Badiashile. He'd be a proper good player to have around here. Joe Gomez, 48 million. Militao at 50. Anyone else wild? Decore at 57 million. He is 30 as well. Barco at 51 million. That is purely based on performance, I imagine, because in game he's at 83. Doesn't get too much higher, but he's been playing out of his mind, of course, for us. Emre Can, 32. Fernandez, 44. Fabian at 71. Of course, my most expensive signing ever. We paid £100 million for him. Crazy. McKennie's worth 76 million. He's so good, and the problem is we are just stacked in midfield, so he didn't play as much as I would have liked him to, but an incredible player. Ziyech at 38 million. Grealish, 27 million. Ismail Yassar is worth 95 million. That is a ton of money there. We'll have to see what happens going forward. Vinicius, worth 85 million. Kent is worth 65 million. Crazy. De La Vega, 22. Jonathan David, 48. De La Feu, 40. Hernandez is worth 91. Moise Kean is worth 65. And Troy Deeney, of course, retiring, still worth 1.7. Let's take a look at some of the stats everybody had this year. We'll go all the way up to the top first, and we'll start from the top here. Rui made 65 appearances, the only goalie to play this year. 28 clean sheets, 65 appearances. That's wild. We played a ton of games. Of course, well, we got to the final of the 3 tournaments and at the Premier League, so, you know, it is what it is. Reguilon, 50 appearances, 20 clean sheets, 2 assists. Hakimi, 49 appearances, 20 clean sheets as well, 4 assists. Ajer, our kind of 4th option there, 3 appearances, 1 assist. Badiashile, 18 appearances, 1 assist, 7 clean sheets. I would have liked to play him a little bit more. Joe Gomez, 58 appearances, 23 clean sheets. Militao, 54 appearances, 25 clean sheets. A proper good player, Militao. He played really well for us. I know he doesn't get the highlights and things of that nature, but look at that. An average of a 7.8 is pretty good for a center back. Dest, 15 appearances, 7 clean sheets. Max Aarons, 21 appearances, 10 clean sheets. Benitez had 8 appearances, 2 clean sheets. I would have liked to play him a little bit more. didn't end up doing it. Decore, 48 appearances, 7 goals, 8 assists, 20 clean sheets. Nicely done. Yang Bai with 5 appearances. Ortiz had 1. Barco, 51 appearances, 12 goals, 13 assists. All of these are off the bench. So, I mean, it's not like he's playing an hour a game and he's playing half hour a game. I mean, this probably adds up to 25-ish games. 12 goals and 13 assists is pretty good in that regard. Emre Can, 36 appearances, 3 goals, 8 assists. Jedson Fernandez, 28 appearances, 3 goals, no assists. Probably plays a little bit better than his stats end up showing. Fabian, 47 appearances, 13 goals, 11 assists. Excellent player. 17 appearances for McKennie, 4 goals. See, we would have liked to get him. He's 87 overall, 24. We would have liked to get him more opportunities there. Zayek came in January. 10 goals, 10 assists for the second half of the season. Really, really good. Grealish, 29 appearances, 4 goals, 9 assists. Ismail Yassar, 59 appearances, 26 goals, 21 assists, 21 clean sheets. Incredible. Vinicius, our big signing in the summer window, along with Fabian, 51 appearances, 14 goals, 25 assists. He was really good on that left side. Kent, 29 appearances, 6 goals, 7 assists. De La Vega, 12 appearances. He didn't score any goals. He had the assists, and he did what he needed to do coming off the bench, bringing that pace to the side. He was a lot better than that may look. Jonathan David, 39 appearances, 29 goals, 16 assists. He always has more goal contributions than appearances. Great player. De La Feu missed 7 months this year, but still had made 21 appearances, 9 goals, 8 assists. Brilliant player to have around. Hernandez, the big man up front, 45 appearances, 42 goals, and 24 assists. Incredible. Moise Kean, 24 appearances, 11 goals, 10 assists, and then Troy Deeney had 7 appearances, and he had that hat trick on the final day. Incredible from Troy. Incredible. So what we're going to do here before next episode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign a lot of these players to contract extensions, see if we can keep them around a little bit longer. I worry that immediately when the windows come around that Watford sell these players off after I leave, but we're going to try and see how many we can extend. I'm going to try and extend all of them at least a little bit. We will have to see. But before this episode ends, I want to talk about my favorite players from the team. Talk a little bit about how everything goes. This year, Vinicius was really, really good. Fabian's a nice player to have. If he were a little bit more athletic, he would be stunning player. His athleticism holds him back just a touch. He gets tired a little bit quick, but when that bit he's on the pitch, he is an absolute monster. Ismail Yassar, obviously a dominant player. I think if I were to go anywhere, I think I might move Reguilon on and go after another left back. Reguilon is a really good player, but Reguilon, he just feels clunky for FIFA terms. Same with Moise Kean, who feels clunky, and he doesn't move as fast as 94 pace would suggest. Jonathan David, on the other hand, is an absolute monster, and we love him to death. Barco, we talk about him enough, don't we? I mean, just absolute monster when he comes off the bench. Grealish last year had a really good year, but this year we had a little bit more in terms of that position, so he didn't play as much as last year, of course. And the players coming through are pretty good. Yang Bai's all right. Ortiz is pretty good as well. I don't know what I would do with them. I'd continue to grow them both, but I think one would be loaned out. It would be difficult, and this guy right here would need some loans and things like that. He's all right, but a clunky feeling, and as you can see from his stats, they're kind of clunky as well. My favorite players of the series, if I had to pick 3, Ismail Yassar would definitely be there. Barco would definitely be there. If I had to pick one more, I think it'd be Hernandez. I think we're going with 2 Watford players to start, and then Barco came our first season. An incredible player. I am going to miss Barco when we move on. When we do the Atalanta series that comes directly after this, I'm going to avoid trying to sign any players that we've signed here at Watford, so I am going to miss a lot of these players. Barco, Hernandez, Sarr, De La Feu, who was around for so long and did a good jobs for such a long time. Badiashile would be good to bring. Maybe I might limit myself to one. I think Badiashile would be the one I would bring because he's proper good. But Atalanta is a different challenge, so we'll see when we get to that side how we're going to do things. But there's so many good players. Rui is a pretty good player. He's not the greatest, and sometimes he lets in some goals you would hope he wouldn't, but he's done really, really well for us. And when we signed the first year or the second year, I think we went through a Forster to begin with, but the second year I think we did. I think we did pretty well for what this is, guys. But let's take a look at one last thing. We'll look at the other leagues and how everything else played out. League One, Paris, of course, winners, 107 points, 2 draws and a loss. Monaco, the second closest, 16 points back. The Bundesliga, not this league, the Bundesliga. Bayern win it by 3 points over Dortmund. A win and a loss separating the two. 5 points over Leverkusen. Leipzig pretty far down the list there. Italy, where we're going next with Atalanta, who finished 10th here. The problem with Atalanta in real life, and well, not in real life. In real life, they're a top 4 kind of team, top 5, top 6, if however you want to see it. The challenge there is going to be outdoing Juventus, as you can see. Juventus every year go undefeated. The 5 years we've been here, they've lost 1 game, I think, in their league. Their team is so much better than the rest of the league around them that when we go to Atalanta, that'll be the challenge. Outdoing Juventus. It'll be incredibly difficult to win Serie A there. And then we can look at La Liga and see how they finished as well. Barcelona winning the league, 110 points. Real Madrid 103. I kind of like this screen. I'm not sure why it's different than everyone else's, but I quite enjoy it. But yeah, guys, I think we are going to end it there. As we said, I'm going to try and get as many people to sign extensions as I can, and then we're going to resign, and then we will see what happens in 5 years. I'll go through and take a look at all 5 years, all the windows. There'll be 10 windows, all transfer windows, all players in and out, how they do in each tournament they're in, and things like that. So we'll get a comprehensive look at Watford for the final time, guys. But I really hope you've enjoyed this series. I hope you've enjoyed this season, guys. But that is it for now. So peace.